Hello, everybody, and good morning to you all. Welcome to live Q&A here in the Dice Tower as we enter into the another week, or the second week, I suppose, of November. We are a week and 5 days from my second daughter getting married. We are a week from the 12 Games of Christmas coming out here in the Dice Tower. We are a month away from the Winter Spectacular, end of the year stuff. And we are, I don't know, Christmas is coming, right? If you go shopping at all, you know that that is true. Want to say thank you to some of our backers. I want to say thank you to some of our GameFound viewers, the Duke of the Licio Disciples, the Australian chapter, to Jeremy Bender, to Bart Ellen, Hane and Kobe Merck from Belgium, to Travis Holler, and to the Atamkaila Owlbears and Tampere, Finland. Congrats on your 10-year anniversary. All right. Well, Q&A here. If you've never been to one of these before, I just answer questions from you all. And we just talk about stuff upcoming from the Dice Tower. Got some reviews. We're like trying to rush through all the games before the end of the year. Not possible. But this week we'll be reviewing a fairly big game called Rove coming up on Sunday. So let's see what we have here. Is the sound low? Well, let me see. I'll do a quick check here on sound levels. I have it as high as it... Oh. How about now? This should be a better sound. It was coming through my computer, I think. Well, I got a new device here that I was checking out. So this should be much better. Hopefully. Let me see if you all can hear the difference in that. As always, a riveting Monday morning here. So catching up, yes, it was low compared to the theme song. This should be much better. So I'll start answering questions. Alrighty, much better, says people. Here we go. Let's see what questions. What I had for breakfast this morning, same thing I always have, some fruit and cheese. Or, well, sometimes I have yogurt and a cup of tea. We got 6 inches of snow last night. So, Tom, what cheers you up on a grumpy day? Sorry for your snow. So we have a pool here at my house. That always cheers me up to go jump in the pool. But it's starting to get cooler. And we're going to have a cold-ish day tomorrow in Southwest Florida. 42 degrees, I believe, is the low. But I can heat my pool, but it takes a while to heat the pool. But I found a pool cover in the garage. We bought the house. We didn't know it came with a pool cover, like bubble wrap, it looks like. We put that on top of the pool, and oh my word, that combined with the Florida sun heats our pool like almost by itself. I started heating the pool one day last week so I could come home and come into a nice heated pool. I came home to a 92-degree pool. And I was like, wow, this is like swimming in a bathtub. I didn't hate it, but that's probably too warm. And then over the weekend, I didn't run the heat at all. I just put out the thing, and it got up to 86, 87-degree pool. It was wonderful. So that cheers me up. Let's see here if we have any other questions. What's the worst con crud you've ever experienced? I don't normally... I mean, sometimes con crud hits me, right? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to avoid it. I just don't think about it that much. I'm always around lots of people during normal times. I got sick at Origins one time. That was the worst, being sick at a con. I'd rather be sick post a con. But I've been sick after cons before. I don't know the worst one. What's your favorite racetrack in Heat? I don't play Heat enough to know. I have not played any of the expansions, so I've only played the base game. And I like both of them. Pancakes or waffles? People always ask this question. Waffles, because it holds the syrup. Also, I just don't like pancakes. Pancakes just taste like a wad of dough. I don't eat either particularly much, so keep that in mind. Have I seen the new Rivet Wars by Steamforged Games? Is it out yet? I knew that they were doing it. I have not seen it yet. Name one game you'd love to have your likeness on a promo card tile for. Well, I mean, I don't know that I would care about having my name on anything. And that's easy to say because I have many, I mean, to be fair, I have many cards, promos on for me, but it's nice, but I want to, I think it's, I'm always much think it's cooler when I get a promo of like the Dice Tower and that it's not so obvious. Like you're like, oh yeah, I guess it is the Dice Tower. I always find things like that cool. What sort of Thanksgiving concoctions do you plan this year? I'm going to do a much smaller Thanksgiving, mostly because it's a week after my daughter's wedding. So I don't have anything particularly exotic planned at the moment. Right now, I'm definitely making one of my cranberry sauces. I'll probably do a cran raspberry sauce. I'm going to do mac and cheese, which I love. I haven't yet figured out what cheese I'm going to use to make it, but I'm thinking I'm going to do some provolone and then mix in some 5 pepper cheese from Publix. And we'll do a turkey. And then beyond that, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a ham. And then I think I'm just going to go to the store and randomly pick. I'll probably do corn with sausage in it because I always do enjoy that. Nothing particularly fancy this year. This would be my lowest key Thanksgiving in decades. Did I take your advice and read Dawn Chart, the novella between Stormlight 3 and 4? I have not. But yeah, mostly because I forgot. But I haven't been reading. I started reading some Marvel. I got Marvel Unlimited again. I unattached from it for a year or two just to kind of, not detox is the wrong word, but just to take a break. So now I'm back in and I'm catching up on some storylines. I'm currently reading the current storyline where Doom rules the Earth. So when I catch up on that, I'm going to go back and see the Fall of Krakoa. And then there's something with X-Men, blah, blah, blah. That's usually what I read. I might pick a comic and read through a comic. Will there be a video looking back at what games you're looking forward to for 2025? Probably we'll do something along that line. Something more close will likely be our best games from 2024. We'll take a look back at those to see, now that a year has passed, we played some other games from 2024, has our top 10 from that year changed? I already have my top 10 from 2025 ready to go. Obviously, that will change if I play more games, and I'm playing as many new games as I possibly can. Although I will tell you, in the past 3 weeks, all the new games I played, Essen stuff, none of them came close to cracking the top 10. But they're, I mean, I'm not saying any game I'm reviewing now. I'm talking about games that I played now. But I am playing a lot of cool games, and the top 10, even if I don't add anything to it, is really solid. And in fact, there are games in my 11 through 20, which I'm sad that are not making the top 10. A top 10 Dice Tower Essentials video. Well, there's only like 14 or 15 games in the line, so I would just be telling you them my order from best to least favorite. I don't know that I want to do that. I might. We'll see. Predictions for the hobby in 2025. We'll actually do a video for that, so keep that in mind. That video will come. We'll also take a look at our predictions. I'm assuming you mean predictions for the hobby in 2026, because 2025 predictions would be really easy to do, but we'll go back and look at our 2025 predictions and see what happened. Have you read the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic? No, I have not. I don't read a ton of DC. I read some. I just read a Superman. Was it Superman Man of Tomorrow? I don't remember what it was, but I really liked it. It was a short. I can just look it up here on my phone, I suppose. What did I recently read? Superman. No results are found. Superman, let's look. I took a look. What was it called? Well, sorry, I don't remember. Was it Superman Man of Tomorrow? No. I don't know what it was called. Oh, All-Star Superman. All-Star Superman, that's what it was. That was pretty good. I like that a lot. Have you played or have interest in the Gundam CCG? I've not played it. I don't know if I have interest in it. I'd have to see it first. What's a game or games that's better without any of its expansions? Well, probably a lot of them. I don't know off the top of my head. I think expansions are fine, but and a lot of good ones came out this year for sure. Hi from Germany. What was your best new game from S in 2012 yet? That I'm not answering because I don't know. I don't know what the best game from there. I went in having played a lot of games that are there. I've not played some of the biggest ones. I have more to play. I have a lot that I'm going to try to get through. Have you seen videos of board game cover art coming to life using AI? I think I've seen a couple videos of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Isn't it about time that Kickstarter Game found another similar company stop using the term backer? I consider myself a buyer. My goal is to get the game I pledge for. In other words, buy it. Maybe, but I mean, when we put up our stuff, the Dice Tower, which is coming to GameFound in the beginning of January, we consider you backers, and you are backing a company. Yeah, I get it. It's also a purchasing. It's a hazy subject, and I don't know how to respond to it really. You are mostly pre-ordering games on there, but there is a lot, especially in a non-gaming world, of things you're backing. Do you plan on ranking the multiverse set of Marvel United characters? I was planning to rank all Marvel characters, and I apologize. I just don't have the time for such a massive undertaking right now. Do you have a standing joke that pops up every now and then at the Dice Tower Studio? We have many, many, many standing jokes. Some of them you see. We do them on live videos, and some of them are private jokes behind the scenes. There's just a lot of different jokes. Do you ever use a crock pot for any dinners? I don't, but my wife does occasionally, but we don't use it very often. She just makes dinner straight, fresh from the beginning normally. So, and I know there's a lot of things you can like slow cook roast in the crock pot and all, but we don't normally cook that way. We make the food right then and now. So now Tom can't play any more 2025 games. Oh, no. I keep track of every game I play from 2025. I have a list of all of them, and I have them in order, sort of. I mean, I have the first 30 in order, and then after that, I have them ranked like all the 7s, and then the 6s, and then the 5s, etc. in order, but they're not, I don't put those in order per se. And then I write notes after them, like I really like the art in this game or what have you. So that at the end of the year, if I want to do my top 10 art, I'm going to be able to do that. I can do my top 10 components and things like that. But so if I play a game, let's say I play one of these games here, and I think this game's amazing. This is my favorite game here. I just stick it at the very top of the list. Would you say Gen Con Origins and PAX Unplugged are the 3 big board game conventions in the United States? Probably. I mean, Gen Con is the number 1, and PAX Unplugged is clearly number 2. Origins is easily number 3 at this point, but it's still a big convention, right? So there's the mid-weight conventions. That's where I would put Dice Tower East, Dice Tower West, Board Game Geek Convention, Geekway to the West. There's several others. I'm not trying to leave anyone in the dust here. There are many of these mid-weight conventions, but it takes a lot to go from a mid-weight convention to get to be one of these bigger conventions. I wonder what the biggest straight board game convention is, because Origins and PAX and Gen Con all include role-playing and miniatures and trading card games and are not just board games. I'd be curious what the biggest straight board game convention is. But yeah, you're right. Those are probably the 3 biggest ones. Again, if you're going to count things like the other PAXs, a Comic Con, because it has some board gaming, but I don't think you should, some of those might be bigger. Would Old King's Crown possibly win Best Art for 2025? Apologies if Dice Tower doesn't have this award. Well, we have our awards, but we don't vote on our awards to the following year, so we have a lot of things to look over for that. It could. I'll be doing my top 10 best art. Will it be on there? Well, I tell you, I love the art in the game, but that doesn't mean it's on the list. We'll find out soon. Is my new iPad Pro a significant upgrade from the one you broke? I don't believe so. It's definitely more powerful, obviously. And as I use it, I'm like, wow, this really does come close to just replacing the computer in many ways. I really do like it a lot. I am looking for a nice travel case with it. So I have a keyboard case for it, which is great. But sometimes I want to just hold the thing. And I don't, sometimes you put these cases on these iPads and it adds like a ton of weight to it. And I don't want that. But I also want that's nice and sturdy. If I drop it, I don't want to have the same thing happen again. Best 6-player board games? Well, we did a 6-player list at one point. We'll probably do another one. Okay. So, has the extra time it takes Chief Sokoto to defeat the warriors of the Scaling or Isosceles ever led to bad things happening? I'm sure there's some sort of you probably think that's kind of a clever joke there, but Scaling and Isosceles, while we here use them as names of triangle, are both fairly malevolent organizations. I would probably put Scalene as the worst, and it sounds like they're full of dinosaurs with scales, but they're not quite. I mean, not at all. Actually, I would say not quite, but they're more like marshmallow-looking men. Like, imagine if the Michelin Man was slightly more buff but evil, and they're also a dark maroon. Well, those are the leaders of the organization. The Scaling obviously has headquarters across dimensions in various places. Scaling and Isosceles actually fought each other at one point, which was a convenient thing. It was a good culling of the two. The Isosceles are a slightly different organization, and they're not any particular race. They're just out there. In fact, we at the organization, we fought Scaling straight up head to head. Well, not we fought them. There was a joint coalition of governments in their Rajagmanath system, and they fought them. But we went out to them as we did some covert operations that were needed in that situation. The Isosceles is more of a behind the scenes thing. I mean, obviously they might know that we're after them, but there is 600 quintillion people per universe. I forget the exact numbers, but there's just a lot. There's a lot of different folks around. It was great to meet you in the Dice Tower. And thank you for Mike for signing my copy of Mike King Seesaw. Not a problem. Are there any TV shows you're currently watching? I watched the first episode of Pluribus, I believe, on Apple TV last night, and I was so enamored with that opening show that I then immediately grabbed my wife and I watching it with her because I knew it would be something that she'd be interested in. Don't spoil it for us, but very interested in seeing part 2 to that. I find the whole concept just fascinating. It was a very, very cool pilot episode. Like, it gave me the vibes when I first saw Lost, which means I'll probably be highly disappointed at some point. But it's done by the same guy who did Breaking Bad, so we can give him some pretty good track record there. Any idea when we can expect the next Hot Takes episode? Well, I have good news for you. Wednesday morning, we got the next episode coming. Huzzah! Congratulations to you and the little one for the upcoming wedding. As someone involved in gaming, do you get Typecast to provide any entertainment or run games during weddings you attend? That has never happened, and I doubt it will happen at this one. I haven't even thought of games in the whole entirety of this wedding. Like, well, this would be a good place to play games. It has never even once crossed my mind. There are many other things crossing my mind. Are you going to sing during karaoke night on the Dice Tower Cruise? I never have. I'm not saying I never will, but just assume I never have. Think we could see a top 10 roll and verb and write games. I don't know if I thought we did one of these. I know that I've done a small one at some point. It definitely will happen again for sure. For the Dice Tower Essential line, do you ever request changes when the game is converted to the Dice Tower Essential game? It's possible, but it's often, I could, but it's often impossible for that to happen. That makes me think of something. All right, I would love to see a series where you send someone across the country, showcase some of the craziest game rooms people have. That would be fun, but where is the money supporting that coming from? That would be a fun thing to do, but to just drive across, it would also take someone, it would have to be more than one person. You don't want to send people to random houses to showcase games. They would have to set up to go across and see people's game rooms, and it would be super fun for those people, but it would be, would people watch it? I don't know. And would enough watch it to make it financially feasible? Do you like historical dramas, such as the new show Death by Lightning? Oh, yeah. I've actually watched the first episode of Death by Lightning. It's not a part of history I know much about, and I'm assuming that they have taken some liberties. But after the first episode, in which Andrew Garfield is nominated for president, I went back and read an entire account of that convention, which I thought was really interesting. The whole convention process of nominating people is something I find it to be super fun and interesting back and forth. It doesn't happen much in real life anymore, anyway. But I find it to be a fascinating thing. If a political novel has something to do with the political machinations of people going back and forth, and so I found that first episode to be really interesting. That's the only one I've seen. Backing channels like Dice Tower is another cup of tea. My pledge to you was a gift. As I see it, to send you money. Well, thank you. Do you have a speech ready for the wedding? Do you like writing speeches or hard for you? No, it's not hard for me. I don't mind writing speeches. I don't have one ready. If I do one, it will be off the cuff because I'm officiating the wedding. So that's where I'm putting my energy into. Good morning. Is there anything you would take from Spiel and wish Gen Con would do or you might do at Dice Tower conventions? I don't think so for the Dice Tower conventions. I do like the Spiel's early day where all the games are set and people see them. I wouldn't mind if Gen Con did something like that. I don't know where they would do it. I don't know that it's even possible, but I really like that. Gamma Trade Show did it this past year, and I really liked it there, although there wasn't enough time to see it there, but that was really cool. Yeah, but but other than that, no. The Spiel and Gen Con are very different conventions from Dice Tower, so I'm not necessarily copying anything from them. I mean, there might be a small thing. I'm like, oh, I like that small detail they did. I wish Essen would require people to wear badges like Gen Con does. It's nice to meet people and have their name in front of them. I really like that. And I wish Gen Con would allow cool booths sometimes like the Spiel has. If your BGG account disappeared, let's say by an evil magician, how aggravating would it be to try and recollect the information for your upcoming videos until you're through the New Year's stuff? That would be a pain in the neck. I would be able to rate any game from the last 3 years quickly because I have that information on my own spreadsheets. But to go farther than that would be pretty hard. Which game have you played the most from 2025? Oh, that's easy. I played Hot Streak the most. What are some ideas you wish the Board Game Geek site would implement? I don't know. There's a lot of things I wish they would do. I wish they wouldn't allow rating of a game until the game was published. Like the publisher would have to go in there and press a button and say, now you may rate the game. Until then, your rating doesn't count. And also, I wish they would have moderators go through and anyone who says this game gets a 1 to counteract a 10 or a 10 because of whatever reason, has nothing to do with the game or whatever, I wish those would be deleted. And if you did it twice, your account's deleted. Does original Quantica play well at 2? I thought it did. So the new Duelum is coming, but yes. Do you have a favorite board game designer that you're always excited about when they have a new game releasing? We did a top 10 of our favorite board game designers, but I'm always still cautious about a game. It doesn't matter if I love every game this person has ever done. Can we have a board game about Chief Sokoto, and what mechanisms will it include? Oh, that would be interesting. It would be like Duel of Ages, probably, would be the closest approximation to Chief Sokoto's life. Where can I send my hot takes for the episode on Wednesday? Just email them to me at tom@dicetower.com. But I'm telling you right now, if you send me a hot take, it will be in a future episode because we have that many. Don't get me wrong, I'll gladly take it, but it will just be another episode. Will you have another gaming marathon? Yes. We do a gaming marathon every year. This year, normally we do them in May, but or April, May, but because we moved during that time frame, we couldn't. So we're actually pushing it to an odd time to do it, and we'll be doing it in January. During our Kickstarter, during our GameFound project, we'll be running it concurrently with that. Is there enough dual games at this point to make a top 10? There is indeed, and we'll have one of those on the schedule at some point. I second idea of Joey doing a Smurf and Wright top 10. Yep, he would probably like doing that, I'm sure. What about top 10 games not to be drunk while playing? Well, for me, that would be every game I play. If you're drunk, I will play no game with you. Straight up. I don't mean, obviously, if you fool me, I won't know. But I don't have any fun playing or doing any activity, for that matter, with anyone who's drunk. I'm not saying people who are drinking. I'm just saying drunk people, I find they ruin any kind of game, period. Will we see any more of the looking back top 10s like 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago? Well, good for you and happy news for you. This week, I'm getting a lot today. This week, our top 10 list will be top 10 games from 10 years ago, 2015. So come and see what games have held up over the past decade. I have so many questions when you're not doing these Q&As, and each time I happen to be in one that's live, I forget all my questions. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You'll have to write them down, I suppose. Is there an easy place to see the staff's ranking of games and such? After seeing the Old King's Crown review, I was curious to see how different their rank for Root was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people keep their rankings. I am the only one who has public rankings, I think, on Board Game Geek. Yeah. I backed Roz partially based on your endorsement, but also because of how rare it is to see designers from India. I know you don't care that someone's game is indie, but did the unique origin affect you? Sure, I definitely thought about that. I've known Mahir for several years. He's come to many of the Dice Hour conventions. So when someone I knew for a long time had a game that looked really cool, I definitely said, I would like to take a look at that for Dice Tower Essentials. So that's how that came about. Then when he told me the theme was dancing in India, I thought that was a really cool theme too, so that also played into my decision. Can we say top 10 engine building games? Oh yeah, probably. We're going to be doing some of our old top 10 lists over. One of the fans, made me a nice spreadsheet that has all our top 10 lists, so I'm going through that, looking at old lists, seeing which ones we need to redo while still trying to do new lists in between. And we're still going to finish the alphabet at some time in the future. Top 10K games is coming, but not quite yet. top 10 small games that should be turned big. If you ever have a top 10 list idea for me, don't say it here. Send it to me at tom@dicetower.com, and I put it in a folder of ideas for top 10 lists in the future. How many weddings have you performed? Only 2. One in Korea and one here. I did one rededication wedding, so I guess I've done 3. 3 then so far. Some years ago, one of your top 10 videos was Sam Healy and Z Garcia. You said it'd be great to do a top 10 angry reactions while gaming. Have you ever done this? If not, would you? I might consider it, but I'll tell you this, and I am thankful for this. If I did such a thing, it wouldn't change from when I did it then. I have not played, maybe I'm wrong, a game in the past 10, 20 years probably, maybe I have, where someone has actively gotten angry when playing. Maybe 20 years, but not 10 for sure. I mean, people might get mad at the game. But getting mad at another player, there's been a small amount of that. It's usually at the same player. But nothing that I would put in a story or tell a big thing about. So, and I'm glad for that. I don't need angry reactions in my games. Is there a hat style you've always wanted but never gotten? No. My 2 favorite hats are fedoras and cabbie hats. This is actually my favorite cabbie hat. I wear it all the time now. I just like the cross section of colors. For fedoras, this is my favorite style. This one here, this is actually a Bruno Capello. I don't think Bruno Capello is my favorite of these. There's different ones, but I like them a lot, and so these are the 2 hats I wear the most. I don't mind wearing a pork pie, and I don't mind the other versions of fedoras. You know, there's different terms, and I'd call them all fedoras. And baseball cap would probably be my 3rd favorite thing that I wear. Those are the 3 I wear the most. Did you use a new camera for the weekend review? No. It was probably just a lighting issue with the color being yellow. Who arranges all the variations of the Dice Tower theme is David Culling. Does that for us. Did a great job. Thank you for the super chat. Your Google credits expire. It's very nice of you. If you could pick a theme and never seen a board game ever again, what would it be? Well, I would just pick I would pick, say, grotesque things just to be grotesque, the Cards Against Humanity theme. Other than that, though, I might say, there's so many zombie games, there's so many animal games, but I don't really care if there's more of them. It's not the end of the world. Good morning. I think Carol did such a great job at your booth at Essence. She did do an amazing job. Will there be a Q&A with her sometime in the future? Maybe. I won't say yes or no in that regard because I don't know. Will the Dice Tower Cruise venue video be up soon? I don't know what you mean by that. I was referring to everyone being drunk. We played Codenames 0300 a night. We were all drunk as skunks with a judge. Was actually fine. Maybe, again, I don't drink at all. I'm not criticizing those who do, but I do think drunk people are fairly unfun to be around. Do you believe the next BGG #1 game has been published already? The one to dethrone Brass? That's a good question. I like that. I'll say no. As in, you can go buy it right now in the store. I'll say no. I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying your top. Here's the thing. People are like, you're running out of ideas for top 10s. We're not running out of ideas for top 10s. I like doing the alphabet because it makes you think, and we talk about games we don't talk anywhere else. We literally were talking about some games and top 10 games I play a stranger. Someone's like, you mention the same games all the time. Well, because they're the right fit for that category. But when we do the top 10 letters, like when we do top 10K, you're definitely going to hear some games that you haven't heard about before. So I like that. Would love a top 10 games to play on BGA. Sure. That's a pretty interesting idea. We might do that at some point. What's your favorite candle scent? I have 2, I think. Well, 3. So for normal times, I like citrus smells. For a while, I don't know if Yankee Candle still makes it. They made a key lime vanilla one. I like that combo. I'm a big fan of vanilla. So that's one of the other three is vanilla. Whether it's vanilla cookie or sugary smells, I like those. And then my third favorite smell is probably pine or just the Christmas smell of the trees and stuff. Which means I need to remember to go home and burn some candles. You broke my heart when you didn't mention Fortress America and the letter F video. Well, I don't know if it made my short list or not. It might have. But yeah, again, not everything makes every list, and only 10 games make a list. And people are not, they're like, any list without this game is invalid. Okay. There's a lot of that. I'm still amused at the strong support of Kickstarter group who gets mad if you don't say the game's the greatest thing on earth. We just did that with the Old King's Crown. I gave that an 8.5. I really like the game. And yet because Z and Chris didn't love the game, people just, again, invalid review. You just can't win unless you're positive, which is why a lot of people turn positive. But we will not be moved. We won't say games are negative just to say they're negative. That's nonsensical. I don't believe in that at all. And I definitely will not say a game is negative just because everyone else likes it. That whole reactionary thing, I'm not a fan of that. But we're also going to say what we think about games, period. So yeah, I still like more games than I don't. And it's funny because I look at my list of games I play over the course of the year, and I like way more than I don't. But that's only because the worst games of the year I kind of put off, and I end up playing in the following year. So then when you add it together, it's more of an even spread. I see why you're bragging. I wonder how much the groom will be terrified by the 6'4" father of the bride asking the big question. Well, he's already shorter than my daughter. I think he'll be fine. My kids tell me that I'm intimidating, and I feel bad about that. They're like, my friends are kind of scared of you. I'm like, I don't mean to be scary. That comes with being big, I suppose. I've had people tell me that in the past too. Like, I'll go talk to someone seriously, and I'm big. And so I kind of tower over them, and I don't mean to do that, but you don't think about it, right? When you're tall, you don't think I'm bigger than everyone else. You just don't. The only time I think about it is I meet someone the same size as me. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're big too. Any prediction where Brass Pittsburgh will rate compared to the other Brass games? I think it will be the highest rated one. It has so much headway, so much prep, so much. It's gonna be huge. And Mike says people have a certain bias towards a game they back and spend a ton of money and waited years for, even if the game isn't all that great. Well, sure, and I do that, but I mean, even if the game is great, they play it and they love it. They honestly love it. That's fine. You just have to accept that not everyone's going to love it. I get it. Sometimes I'll play this amazing game and go and see someone's rating of it, and I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. They must have played it wrong. But maybe they didn't play it wrong. Maybe they just don't like it. Any place to see upcoming reviews? I liked it a couple years ago. You put upcoming review game boxes and backgrounds of videos. Sure. We don't do that now because sometimes things change. We have a schedule, and in fact, I know what reviews I'm doing all the way up to the end of November. But you won't see them because we might change things and stuff happens. So that's why. I do lower my rating, says 3D Print Wizard, if a game doesn't come with good inserts and end up having to design and print my own. Well, first of all, it sounds like you are doing a humble brag with that statement. Why would you rate it if it doesn't have good inserts? I don't think a game needs... Inserts are very expensive, and inserts are tricky because are you going to provide room for the expansion? And if so, then it's kind of empty, and if not, then later on expansion comes out. I am in all of people who design good inserts, and I know there's a lot of great inserts out there. I'm over inserts. Plastic bags and little plastic containers work great. It's easy to pull the game out. Sometimes there's a great insert, but I found most of them are cool. But the bags and thing works for me really, really well. Have you ever accidentally cut a game while making an unboxing? Yes. Did you ever do a top 10 board game artist? I think we did. Maybe not. The problem with doing a top 10 board game artist is we'd sit there and go, we really like their art. And then it'll be a lot of showing over talking. Have you heard of Phasmophobia, the board game? Nope, I don't know anything about it. Kickstarter game found is the risky way of getting games with no alternatives. Miss out on something like Merchant's Cove and be sad, or back a huge campaign game and be sad at how it plays. Sure, but that's just buyer beware. That's life in general. I mean, for anything in life, you don't know if it's good or bad till you've bought it. Now, you might say, oh, if you miss in a campaign, you can't get the game later on. That's possible, but I've yet to see it. There's some rare circumstances, but honestly, who cares? Let's say you miss an amazing, amazing, terrific, fantastic game, and you're like, oh, I really, really want that game, and I'll be like, there's like 100 other ones like it that you can get. But if you're like, that is the one game I've always wanted, that is the most amazing, fantastic, terrific game ever made, you can still go buy it. Just pay more money for it then, and if you like it that much, then it's worth it. You seem like a teddy bear personality. Tim, your kids' friends as a first look is not a bad thing. Better make the boyfriends nervous first, comfortable later. I don't know. I try not to do that. But I don't know that I'm a teddy bear personality. You might see that in the videos here. I don't think my kids would say that at all. Would you prefer to reach a point where your staff could make a morning show every day, or would you think the market would be oversaturated at that point? Oh, I would love that, but that is a lot of work and be a lot of effort on our parts. Is there anyone in the Dice Tower crew that plays war games? Seems like that genre doesn't get covered. No, we all play war games. But I know what you mean. You mean serious war games, like Columbia or Worthington games, things like that. And no, we don't have anyone who does that. There's already people who review that and do a great job at that. And though it's a very, very small subcategory, and those games would require a ton of effort, and no one here likes the games that much to want to put it into them. But they get covered elsewhere, so I'm sure there's great reviews of them out there. Tomorrow, you'll wake up and be a master in a particular sport. What sport do you think it would be? Well, it would have to be a sport I could actually play these days, so any contact sport is out. Running around sports would be out. So we're being left with bowling and I'll say ping pong, table tennis. Bags work fine, says my 3D print wizard, but I enjoy being able to go directly from box to game faster and insert do that. For instance, individual player trays, pre-sorted and ready, I only give half a point towards inserts. Now, well, I don't give any point because but I get it, but it still doesn't necessarily make it easier to set up. I have the little containers. I can go bump, 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 place them out. Here's a bag with all your components. The player tray only works faster than a bag if it's there and it's set up and that's how your board looks. And a lot of times I don't want that player insert, 3D player insert in front of me because it looks like a 3D player insert in front of me. But I get it. Enjoyed a board game swap this weekend. Picked up Castle Combo. You get to do any swaps? Nope. I don't trade games, really. I don't necessarily need games, and I have a ton of games to go through. I'm fine. Is there a chance of a Yo Meat 2 review? There's definitely a chance of it. I got the game in. It's big, and it's all sorted out. I want to play it and review it. I just haven't had the time to get that one to the table yet. Will the Dice Tower ever come to Mega XP Con in Mexico City? Would love to meet you there. Never say never. I don't know if that will ever happen, but we can hope. Tribute from Uber MX. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. When you're doing something monotonous like data entry, what preoccupies your mind? Do you listen to podcasts, music, stories, or do other problem solving? My data entry, I don't know. I'm usually thinking about the entry. I might be listening to music, but I'm usually thinking about what I'm putting in. I'm not Mike. So you're like, Mike, did you play the Aquagarda variants? I don't know if he did or not. What's your favorite food to be pickled? Oh, now that's interesting. Eggs, for sure. Pickled eggs are amazing. I like pickles. But eggs are my number one. My number two favorite food to be pickled is baby corn. And then probably cucumbers. Although I very much like cauliflower. I like beets. I like onions. Peppers are fine. Yeah, but eggs are my clear number one. I love pickled eggs. What do you want for Christmas? I have not made my list yet. My kids want one, I'm sure. Yeah, but peace on earth. No, I'm fine. I definitely don't want candy. I'm a satisfied man. If you are asking to give me a Christmas present, then just donate to the Dice Tower. That will work. But for stuff, I think I'm fine. Would you ever bring back Favorite Game Friday? Possibly. We might do something to that regard. Keep an eye out. There's something coming. It's not going to be Favorite Game Friday. We're not bringing it back. But there will be something else. Some time ago, there were a couple guys talking about war games. I believe you mean Bart the Chief. He was on our channel. He talked about that. He has his own channel now. You can go check that out. Tommy used to play a game as a kid called Torpedo Run. Did you ever play it? I did play it. I owned it at one point. I'm sad I don't own it now. That's a game I love to put in the Dice Tower library. But how would I do it? I don't know. It's just so big. If I buy a game, it will be taken to the grave. Well, that's macabre. Why would you put a game in the grave? That's a waste. Hey, Matt just became a member. Thank you, Matt. That's nice of you. Following up on the other person's question of ping pong mastery, we need to splice your genes with an animal to keep you on top. You have to do it, but you can pick the animal. Like splice with an animal? Like what senses do I want? Who sheds fat the fastest? That might be the one I want. Who can eat and it just melts off them? Maybe a bird so I can fly? Pickled everything is so hot right now. I don't know. Maybe it's easier to find. But I definitely am always looking for stuff. Me and my wife, we like to go out on Saturday mornings here in the Fort Myers area, and we'll do a nature walk somewhere, and then if there's a market, we go look, and if they have pickled something, I always sit there and like, I love hot pickles. You know, they're very good. If you could live in any city or country, where would it be? Fort Myers, Florida. That's where I'm at. I mean, if I really wanted to move somewhere else, I guess I could. There are many countries and cities that I love. But I'm happy to be where I'm at. My wife got pickled flavored cotton candy. It was actually good. Maybe. Best warm dessert and best cold dessert. Well, best cold dessert is an ice cream sundae. Best warm dessert. Peach cobbler, maybe, with ice cream. Peach cobbler is pretty good. I'm trying to think. Because most desserts you don't eat warm. I also really like a Black Forest cake. I don't know if you consider that warm or not. That's room temperature. Well, it should be chilled. So maybe that's what it is. Did you play Sweetlands yet? I have not. Any interest after how much you liked Astia? Sure. That's why I'm interested in trying it out. What's the earliest age you introduce your children to gaming? Well, probably my daughter Melody started playing games with me when I was 2. but I don't recommend that really. We just play whatever with kids at any point. See if they're willing to do it. I would just do a very simple Hobbit game. No, I don't have current plans to make another board game other than nothing personal. Couldn't you buy the components of Torpedo Run and play it on a tabletop? Well, sure, but it's still going to be a big box and everything. Do you have a designer that you've enjoyed their games that have come out lately? I've been looking at Danny Garcia's work and am surprised at how many games he has that I'm very interested to play. Yeah, Danny Garcia, I like his stuff. Just Google Torpedo Run. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. It's a game. As a kid, it really, really surprised me. What's your favorite part of the board gaming hobby? Is meeting people. I mean, I love the games, don't get me wrong, because you can meet people everywhere. But I've met a lot of fantastic people playing games with them, so I like that a lot. Who was your favorite teacher when you were a kid in school? That's a tough call. I know my favorite teacher as an adult in college. My favorite teacher in school, when I was a kid in third grade, we had a teacher who was teaching us something, but he taught us weather. He wanted to be a weatherman. So he taught us all the weather symbols, the different clouds, weather patterns, and I thought it was amazing. In fact, for a brief moment, I considered being a weatherman. What's my favorite omelet? I don't know. I'm willing to try. I mean, I'm an everything omelet with extra cheese, but I like different omelets. I always try different styles. Southwest omelet, had a Philly cheesesteak omelet. I like omelets a lot. What is a great game that's been out of print for a very long time? You like to see reprint it, blah, 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 blah. I answer this question all the time. So off the top of my head, nothing. We're fine right now. We really are. Would you rather turn the current Dice Tower office into an underground bunker or an office up high like those houses on stilts? Still in the same spot in Fort Myers and subject to its weather. Well, I don't like either of those options. Underground's awesome because it's, keeps you safe and everything, but you don't get to see outside, see the weather outside. Up high, I don't know why anyone would want that. On stilts, nah. Are you going on any excursions on the cruise? I'm not planning to currently. I haven't really looked through them, but there are 5 people in my family, and so 5 times an excursion is often a pretty pricey affair. 2 people times an excursion. I can't tell you the number of times I'm like, ooh, I'll do an excursion. Oh, they're $130 a person. Nothing's that good for $260 for, 2 hours. So I just don't normally do them. I sometimes get off the ship, and a big guy there will be like, hey, $30, I'll take you around the island. Done. I'm sure excursions are amazing. You see some really fantastic stuff, and there's a lot of positives to them, but I've been on only a couple excursions ever, and it mostly has to do with price. So you could survive World War III in a bunker with a lot of games. Well, sure, but I'm not currently worried about that. All right. Well, it looks like I've caught up in questions. I'll reframe. Tree fort or underground fort? Tree fort, of course. But it needs to have an elevator because I don't want to climb up a ladder. But since I've caught up on questions, I think I shall end it a few minutes early here. Not a big deal, but we got a lot of things to do this week. We'll be off from doing live things tomorrow because tomorrow is Veterans Day. And we have a lot of things to do. We're recording our 12 games of Christmas, so there's many things coming. So I appreciate it. You all coming and joining me. Z's going to be doing what's happening live today because we won't be here tomorrow. And other than that, thanks so much, everybody. We have a lot of cool videos coming out this week. And even if we didn't, there's a lot from last week that you can go and watch. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. See y'all. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.